Lowe from Senegal Events, joined by Newport'S Ryan Pocock, who challenges for the Welsh super middleweight title on Saturday, March the 2nd in Cardiff against Llanelli's Ethan George. Mr. Pocock, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. It's been a while since we last spoke. I remember I interviewed you after your last fight, but the footage corrupted, so no one actually seen the interview. And it was a good interview as well, if I can remember.
They usually are when
So,
I'm involved, mate.
well, yeah, I'm not going to say anything to that, but, it is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously just started then with obviously boxing Ethan George for the Welsh title in Cardiff. Big fight for you, big fight for him, big fight for Welsh boxing, I'd say. How are you feeling going into that?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident, mate. I've been training well. Everything's going well. It's probably the best I've ever done the weight. Everyone always says that, don't they? But it's genuinely the best I've ever done it. Training's gone okay. I couldn't really ask for anything more. I mean, the opportunity was put to me, and basically I was asked what did I think of certain options, and Ethan was picked because I thought he'd be an exciting fight. I was the one who said I'd love to box him, not because I think he's a bad fighter. I just think it's an exciting fight. He brings an exciting style, and I just believe I got a style that can beat his. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it, and hopefully it'd be massive to go on and win the Welsh title.
Yeah, it's quite an intriguing fight. I've been looking at both your records recently, and identical records, both of you. So obviously at the stage of your career now, it's a good fight to have for both. I mean, obviously options wise, you want to try and get past this level before you go anywhere else. But it's a big belt to fight for the Welsh title. It's quite prestigious. I mean, more recently as well, you've seen loads of Welsh title fights going on. Gym mates of yours have been boxing for it, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more exciting Welsh title fights in the future. But to you personally, to win this now on March 2nd, what would that mean to you?
Oh, it'd be massive. Like, I mean, when I come into boxing, um, if someone had told me I could fight for a Welsh title, I would have snapped their hand off. I was happy just to compete, and I didn't know if I was ever going to get the opportunity to compete with the other boys around my level, because sometimes politics get in the way. Sometimes people are trying to look at other avenues or options. But yeah, the opportunity was put to me, and I'll give it to him. He's a proper fighter, and he will fight anybody. And I just want to test myself against everybody else out there. So if I can go and beat him, and I think it makes a good statement, and then we can start looking forward to what's next. But it'd be massive to me. It'd be huge. It's something I cherish forever.
Yeah, spot on. It's obviously, we just said it's such a prestigious bout to fight for, and I think it was kind of overlooked for many years, but more recently it's been, you've seen the Senegal event shows have been full of Welsh title fights, and I know a few other promoters have been putting them on as well. In terms of your opponent, Ethan George, I just said then, obviously, similar record to yourself, 5-1, exactly the same as you. In terms of who he is as a fighter, what do you know about him? Have you done any research, any studying?
Mate, we were gym mates for a long time. So me
Of
and
course he
Ethan have
was. Of
sparred
course he was.
maybe I don't know, 40, 50, 60 rounds. I don't know. We've sparred a lot. And
Mm,
everyone gives him this reputation as a big puncher.
mm.
And he can punch. Like, I'm not saying he can't, but there's more to him than that. The boy can box as well. He sets traps. He's quite clever. He's no fool, but he has got that sort of power as well. But I mean, you'll have to ask Ethan whether he thinks I possess a similar sort of power or power that can trouble him. But he'll know, 'cause we've sparred, and I'm open and honest enough to say that he's got good power. He can punch, but he is definitely more than that. So I will give him that much credit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great fight. I think he's a tricky puzzle to solve, but one I'm looking forward to trying to solve. And I just believe there's certain ways to get around certain things that he does well. And I think I'll carry it out on the night.
Mm. You spoke there obviously about previous gym mates with him and sparred plenty of rounds. How important do you think are those rounds going to be going into this fight? How crucial are they to how you perform on the night? I
I
know it's
mean,
different, but
yeah, it's different, isn't it? The big gloves, the head guards, everything. So yeah, and the one thing I can take from it is Ethan's never helped me prepare for a fight, so he's never been in with me when I've been fit and sharp. I've helped him prepare for fights, so I know that when he is fit and sharp, he's fit and sharp. So maybe I can take a little bit more from the sparring than he can. That's the only way I can put it. But I mean, on the night, and it's different when you're sparring your gym mate for 4 or 6 rounds to help him out. It's different when there's a title on the line and you're trying to take each other's head off, because it means so much more, doesn't it, on March the 2nd?
Yeah, of course. I know we can kind of put it to in a way to Josh Boatti and Dan Azizo for last week. You know, very close friends, sparred plenty of rounds, and they both spoke around the time of the fight where sparring doesn't really mean anything
Yeah,
unless you're in there, because it's a totally different ball game. Like you said, smaller gloves, no head guards, and people have said it can be a psychological thing where what he can do, kind of some things you can do well, some things you don't do very well. Do you think
yeah,
he's looking at
yeah.
that the same way as you? Kind of, sparring it is what it is until we're in there.
Yeah,
We're in there.
yeah. I mean, he's he's an intelligent fighter, and he's got clever people around him. He's got a good coach. He's got a good team. So I assume they're probably telling him, "Don't take anything from it." Maybe there's little things that he knows that I'll do, or maybe things that I don't do so well, like you say. So maybe there is little things that he's added to it. But I can honestly say that nothing from our previous sparring has gone into our preparation for the fight. We've just taken Ethan for what he is now, then just another man, 2 arms, 2 legs. And I know if I do what I can do on the night, I gotta be good on the night, and I gotta get things right. It's not gonna be easy, but if I do what I can do on the night, I'll beat him.
It's a good outlook, guys. To be fair, I mean, obviously, it's boxing and sparring. In terms of a fight and a spar, is totally different.
Yeah,
I just want to speak about your preparations going into this fight. I know you spend a lot of time sparring with the boys in St. Joe's. Got some good fighters down there, Tony and Billy. But I know we spent a bit of time sparring Aaron Sutton down in Bristol, who
yeah,
obviously boxes in a big fight himself on February 24th against Jerome Warburton. Um,
yeah.
what's preparations been like for yourself? Sparring? Are you sparring well? Are you still sparring now, or is there a cut-off date?
Yeah. I'm still sparring.
Mm.
I'll probably get another 4 or 5 spars in over the next 2 weeks. Some 10 round spars, some a little less, just to keep myself sharp. But yeah, sparring's going well. We've got 2 sparring partners. I don't want to say too much, because you might know how I'm working things. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
we've got 2 sparring partners who are very similar in style to Ethan. Big, strong boys who can punch a little bit. Um, Physically quite strong, and they come forward. So I feel like I've had good sparring in that. But then again, like you say, Aaron Sutton, mate, what a fighter. He's top class, and he's
Okay.
16-0 for a reason, and he's got one of the best jabs I've ever been in with. So I give Aaron that much credit, but he's good for that sharp work, making you think, that chess style of sparring, and we got Mark Davis, who I've been doing that sort of work with as well,
Yeah.
which that'll be no secret that we've been sparring in the gym. But yeah, we have got a couple of other boys from Bristol and a little bit further afield who we have been sparring with. And yeah, I feel they're right for the style and the sort of work that we needed. And yeah, the sparring's gone well. And I don't know how many 10 round spars I've had, but a few, and I'm feeling comfortable in that. I'm feeling fit enough to do 10 rounds, no problem. I could do 10 rounds today, so give me another 3 weeks, and hopefully I'll be that little bit closer to the peak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds good. It's good to hear a bit of an outlook on your preparations. I want to ask you. You know, you've been at St. Joe since you turned over as a pro. Worked with some good fighters over the couple of years you've been a pro now. Um, but your coach Tony Borg, I know many people have spoken so highly of him. For a long career he's had in boxing, and he
Yeah.
led obviously Lee Selby to a world title, and Gavin Gwynn, British Commonwealth, and that's just a couple of other names there that he's worked with. But from your perspective, how good is he of a coach to lead you into a big fight like this? Is he really as good as people say? Is he someone that you can kind of trust with anything?
Mate, it's funny. It's funny you use the word trust, because
Hmm.
Tony, I would not trust him as far as I could throw him. He constantly, But do you know, when it comes to boxing, like, if it wasn't for that man, I couldn't box eggs. You know what I mean? He's taught me everything that I know when it comes to boxing, and people will see the evolution of me as a fighter, and every little bit of it is down to Tony. And I got that sort of relationship and bond with Tony. If I was in the corner and he said to me, "The sky is green outside," I'd believe him. You know, if he told me that, and he could tell me anything, and I'd just say, yes, you're right. I believe in everything he says to me. So, you know, if he tells me a certain game plan and this is how you beat him and this is what you have to do, even if I don't see it, I'll just trust him and do it. And it's something I've been doing for years in sparring and everything. It's like it comes second nature. If he tells me this is what you need to do, even if I find it a little bit out of my comfort zone or difficult, I do it. And I've always had success. So yeah, I mean, Tony is top class. And the one thing I will say, and Ethan will know it as well, you'll never get a fighter from St. Joseph's lose a fight because they're not fit as well. Tony is unbelievable at getting his fighters into fighting shape. So yeah, that's something I've been in fight shape now for maybe 2 3 weeks already. Felt like ready to fight, you know. So it's more controlling the fact that I don't peak too soon. It's like reining it in rather than chasing my tail and trying to get ready for the fight now. So yeah, he is genuinely that good, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I know Tony. I've spoken to him a few times in and around fight nights, and always seems such a knowledgeable trainer. Very clued out about boxing. Obviously, for such a long career, you're bound to be. And I've been in the gym when he's obviously been coaching some of the boys, and some of the
Yeah,
sessions absolutely grueling. I wouldn't want to be part of any of
yeah,
them
yeah,
myself personally. Um,
yeah,
I want to take you back in time a little bit, if you don't mind. I want to take you back to October 2021, your pro debut, going into your first pro
yeah,
fight, and an unfortunate loss against Kieran Thomas. So if you go back to then, and where we are now, March, coming to March 2024. If I told
yeah.
you then that you'd be boxing for a Welsh title now, sort of 27 months later, would you have believed me if I said that to you
No,
after that loss?
no. I kind of had self belief that I could come back from it,
Hmm.
but I didn't know kind of the path it was going to take and how quickly the path was going to turn. I knew I needed a couple of fights to rebuild the confidence because it shattered my confidence. I'll be honest about it. And people close to the team, they know the reasons behind what happened. And I mean, I've sparred some world class fighters, and I've never been hurt, never been down. So it was all new to me. It was a new experience, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I've told a few people that when the shot landed, I thought I went out. So, and the referee said, "Wait there." And in my head, I thought he said 8. So I rushed to my feet because I thought
Hmm.
I don't want to go out on my back, you know. But
Yeah.
and it was one of them, and the legs
Hmm.
weren't quite there. So all of that was a new experience to me. But I kind of got a few things wrong in the build up to the fight, and that's why I'm so meticulous in the way I do things now to make sure those things don't go wrong again. But yeah, like I say, in that short period, I guess it's a short period, you know, to rebuild and now come for a title, you know, for the area is yeah. I wouldn't have believed, you know, but that's a massive credit to Chris Saniga with great matchmaking and management, and to Tony for rebuilding me as a fighter, putting certain things right, and having the confidence to put into me and rebuild in me as well.
Yeah, because I want to go a little bit further there. And when you boxed Seamus Devlin on the show in Swansea, big televised show with the BBC, and obviously that was your first fight
Yeah,
since your debut. I remember
yeah, yeah,
speaking to you briefly before you fought, and then obviously after you fought when we had the interview. And I don't think I've seen many fighters come off the back of a debut loss into a big televised show, and you were just so upbeat. You were so confident. Was that because of the people around you, or was it just more? What was it inside?
yeah. I think no. If I'm honest, it'd be easy to say, "Oh, yeah, it's all my self belief." I knew I was, but no, it was the people around me, everyone around me, and the fear of the fear of failure was what kept me driven. But the belief that they had in me was what gave me the belief to go in there and perform. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it was definitely the people around me, the people I'm in the gym with. Obviously, I'm around a gym full of fighters who are all successful, and it was like a small period of time where like I was the only professional in the gym with a losing record, and it hurt, you know. And that is something that it drove me on like you wouldn't believe. And I trained like a madman. I trained like it was a championship fight for a 4 rounder. There was no way I was going to lose that fight, but there was no way the people around me were going to let me lose the fight either. So yeah, like you say, it was quite a big thing, and it was a lot of pressure and whatever else. But afterwards, it best feeling in the world. And from then, I feel like I've just gone on from strength to strength. The
Yeah.
opponents have got better gradually, and so have my performances. I think like my last performance was probably against the best person I've boxed so far, and probably my best performance. The one before that, similar. So, you know, I feel like I've just kept growing as a fighter.
Yeah, because you have had some, pretty tough fights since. Obviously, Seamus Devlin was very, very awkward, very tricky.
Yeah.
And obviously boxing someone like Fernando Valencia as well, but later on, who is, his record doesn't speak for the fighter he is. I don't think. I think he's very,
No, no,
very
no.
difficult. And obviously, you've been in there with him,
Yeah.
and you're vouched for that because,
Yeah, yeah, he was. He was a very intelligent fighter,
yeah,
very intelligent, and he was a very good counter puncher, and he was
mm,
very good at walking you into little traps. You know, he was constantly trying to set traps. He was very good. But I just want to touch on Alan White, who I boxed last time,
yeah,
mate, because his record was, you know, he came out of nowhere. He was a late replacement, and it was, you know, are you happy to box him? Of course I am. Let's fight. And when I spoke to him afterwards, I'm sure he'd had something like 140 amateur bouts and
mm,
represented Ireland and done whatever. And I was, you know, you're good fight. I knew when I was in there with him that he was a good fighter, but
yeah.
I didn't realize how experienced he was and how good he actually was. But yeah, he was a very good fighter, and he was game, and he come to win. And he told me afterwards, you know, I've come to upset you tonight, and fair play to you. You've, you know, worked out the puzzle and you beat me. And I think it was great preparation for the next fight now, which is Ethan, because it had that sort of intensity and work rate of an area title fight and two people who were hungry. And like I say, at the end of those 6 rounds, I knew that I could have done another 6 or 8 at that sort of pace and at that sort of intensity, and it filled me full of confidence and going into a 10 round fight, knowing that I can work like that for the whole duration.
It's good to have an outlook on that, really. And I think certain people would have opinions on some of the fighters' records, especially when you fight at a lower level where you just turned pro and you're kind of building
Yeah.
the trade. But some of these fighters are so they're dangerous, they're hungry, they're so passionate about being in the sport, and if they'll find a way to beat you, they will. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's always
100%.
a risk, facing those kind of fighters. But if you can get past those, then opportunities
Yeah.
like Ethan George on match second is a big chance for you now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I don't want to keep you too much longer, so we're going to get to sort of the end now of the interview. I don't want to cause any stirs. I'm not sort of into trash talk between fighters or on my interviews, but if you were to send a message right now to Ethan George ahead of your fight on match a second, what would it be?
Good luck. Good luck. I hope he's prepared. Well, like me and Ethan, we haven't got a bad relationship, you know what I mean? And we'll be friends after the fight as well. That's one thing I do want to say. But right now it's business, and I hope he's training hard, because I'm training hard, and if he's not, then the pressure will make him fall apart on the night. But I believe he is. He's a good, tough fighter, and I believe he wants this as much as I want it. And that should make for a great domestic fight then, you know. But yeah, like I say, just good luck. The best man will win, and whoever's prepared best will win the fight. And I just hope that he's prepared as well as I have.
My sort of message there. You might respond after he sees the interview. I might even catch up with him myself. You never know. Um,
Yeah.
just before I let you go, obviously you've got plenty of supporters who are behind you for this. Some sponsors, plenty of sponsors as well who've been backing you just ahead of the fight. Any message for those everyone who supported you along the way?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if it wasn't for the people who buy tickets and the sponsors, this wouldn't be possible. And as you can see, like I got one of my old fight tops on there with all my
Mm.
sponsors on. I wear them around all day, every day, because I massively appreciate what they do for me. And like I say, I want for nothing when it comes to, when it comes to boxing. All my kit is sorted, my medicals are sorted, my nutrition is sorted. I got an amazing team around me, and like I say, the backing I've got from people who buy the tickets as well. From the very first fight, it's never wavered. Even when we've gone a little bit further afield, coming off of a loss, boxing at the same venue 2, 3, 4 times in a row, they still turn up every single time and still keep buying tickets. And they're the reason that I'm here now, because if they didn't back me, no one else would have. So yeah, massive thank you to everyone who's bought tickets, to all my sponsors, to my management and my training team.
Wicked, absolutely great. Ryan, I'll leave you to it now. Wish you all the best for your fight on March 2nd. I'm sure I'll see you on the night and probably after.
Yeah, no doubt, mate. No doubt, no doubt.
Nice one, mate. All the best.
Kailem, appreciate it,
Cheers,
brother.
Roy.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
one, brother.
Yeah.
Keep you soon.